How is up, everyone? And welcome back to Fire Emblem Heroes. In the beautiful hours of John 3:16, today we're going to talk about the Valentine's units, and we're going to go over the Valentine's Tempest Trials. I'm not going to do a full analysis like I always do, so I'm just going to briefly talk about how stupid Alm is, in that most units these days, right? The lowest dev, the lowest res is usually around like 20. No matter how much you bloat your units, you probably will stand at 20 or something like that, because you have to give their points somewhere. I would like to find a unit one of these days though, in like Gen 4 or 5 with like 10 dev or res, so that their attack and speed is like ridiculously high or something like that. But I highly doubt that'll happen. They'll usually distribute their dev res somewhere. So in that case, Scepter of Love is basically like 5, at the very least, plus 5 attack, dev, res for Alm. It's disgusting. I hate it. And of course, if we're going back to the averages like that, you're looking at like 28, 32. So you're looking at like 5 to like 8. And of course, then you have your Ultra Tanks. So yeah, something like 12 is not wholly, unimaginable. So Alm is ridiculously powerful, and his activation is really easy. Only problem with him is that his base res is kind of low, but hey, does it matter? Not really, because you can just reduce enemy attack in such a stupendous way. This is one of the reasons why I don't really like the design of this game these days, because the design of new units seems to be just generally stronger. Instead of like something ingenious with some kind of unique perk, you have units that are just strong in every way. Luckily for us though, it's still not so terrible. I mean, he's still subject to weapon triangle advantage and disadvantage. I almost said like world trade advantage. I don't even know why. But luckily the fact that he's still a green unit, so a red unit that can dish out tons of damage could still take him out. Especially since his res is his Achilles heel, regardless of how you look at it. Now, dual skills. Dual skills will fix the one sole issue that you have with him, where he can't reach his rally or hone active or 70% HP. So that thing is absolutely tough to kill. And the way I would build him is just scrap the bonus doubler, or scrap the attack speed, and just give him like distant counter or like close call. And then you have a disgusting tank that does tons of damage and takes a lot less damage, because he's fast too. This design is just horrendous. I hate this character so much. Still, compared to Bike's 64% reduction, well, if he can reach it, it's really, really disgusting. I mean, I can't stop talking about how disgusting this unit is. I'm just going to stop talking about it. But one last thing about dual heroes, though. I really hate dual heroes, because instead of Alm and Celica, it's just Alm with a sex slave, because that's basically what Celica is reduced to. It's terrible. I hate dual heroes. I hate the whole concept. Everything about dual heroes is disgusting. Just look at this standard effect duel. Everything is just stupid about them. I don't like the fact that they've ever been released. They were a complete mistake. I still like Hector and Lilina a lot though, but hey, Hector and Lilina's it just makes my life in Aether Raids easier with Kranya. But I still hate dual heroes. That's the only reason why I like them. It's just because they make me have an easier time in Aether Raids. But honestly, I could, if we can turn back in time and kill whoever dev's responsible for dual heroes, I would definitely do that, because I really hate dual heroes. Anyway, let's go to Rudolf. Rudolf, at the very least, is not a broken hero like Norman Celica. He does have the advantage of being a very powerful unit, though, because if he has more attack than foes, he basically has the attack dev res 6. I mean, it's not like 12 like Alm and Celica, but it's still very good. The activation requirement is it's not that hard to make either. Of course, if you get debuffed and all that nonsense, it's going to be a problem, but the fact of the matter is, this thing negates follow-up attacks on both player and enemy phase, something that his compatriots in this banner cannot hope to actually achieve. So basically put, nowadays everything is basically, oh yeah, speed raise or a follow-up denying raise. Now, I mean, I could be like, oh yeah, let's give no follow-up to Alm and Celica, but Close Call is just so disgusting. I honestly don't think there's a reason why you shouldn't use it if you have it. But anyway, let's go down to like Faye. Faye is disgusting because Faye completely eclipses, like in every stats, my Buster Butler, my Halloween Jacob. I mean, Halloween Jacob is a product of power creep in year 1, so I mean, now that we're in year 3, it's kind of inevitable. Luckily, it's one limited unit compared to another limited unit, so it's a lot harder to obtain her, and even then, honestly, I wouldn't bother, because you also have, like, Christmas Cecilia, though Christmas Cecilia is a little different. She, instead of doing extra damage to air units, she just reduces enemy death res on the coming turn. But, I mean, if you have that already, you don't really need to get Faye all that much. Though Faye does have power creep stats, so that is something to look forward to if you're gonna use her anyway. Now, I'm not into these sturdy impact weapons that they have for as a gimmick for this banner. They're not all that great to me, to be perfectly honest with you. They're kind of like, See, for one thing, unless you have Bold Fighter, of course, Bold Fighter is great, but I like my B slots to also be used for other things. But anyway, if you don't have a mean to guarantee yourself a follow-up attack, this is kind of iffy. I really just don't like this kind of stuff. Usually, when you engage someone, when you initiate combat, you want to kill them. So preventing follow-up attacks, when you double someone and you still don't kill them, it's kind of, I mean, I guess you could safely attack your units and enemy units and weaken them. I suppose there's that. But in general, when I initiate attack, I hope that I can kill the enemy units. I don't usually fight in a way that, I don't kill someone. I'm just doing it to weaken them so someone else can do it. Because that's kind of dangerous. That's setting yourself up for something stupid down the line. At any rate, I think it would be better if we at least have like a defense of like 10, like sturdy impact or something like that, because this weapon could have other effects that would make this better. But otherwise, compared to weapons these days that have like multiple effects, like Rudolf or Alm, this is just, I just can't, I just don't like it all that much. But anyway, so there's that, and, well, Conrad, we can talk about how Conrad, you can get like 1 million copies of him because he's 4 stars as well in this banner. But is he good? No. At the very least, though, you can plus 10 him easily. But, yeah, he doesn't have good fathers either. He's just built, he's doomed to be a 4-star unit. It's terrible. I feel so bad for Conrad. Conrad's a cool guy, but he's just completely shaft. I don't know why. I don't know what kind of dev would hate Conrad so much to do something like this to him. But, well, this is unfortunate. Lower BST, this not very good skills. It's just a mess. Anyway, I spent too much time on this. So let's go and do this free summon. Hopefully we get something nice. Unfortunately, we don't even get that. I want a infantry lance, though. I want an infantry lance that is fast. I would use Ultimate Fjorm, but Ultimate Fjorm, unfortunately, is seasonal. Very reliant on seasons. So we can't go too far with that. And I would otherwise might have summoned for Alm if, well, Alm wasn't green. But even then, plus 10ing someone these days is just so expensive. I've done enough plus 10s in this lifetime. I have to save up enough orbs and find someone that I really like before I plus 10. And by then, they'll probably release something stupid like Gen 5 BSTs and such like that. Anyway, let's go and head into the Tempest Trials and talk about the Tempest Trials proper. Listen to their trash talk, especially from the evil Faye. By the way, the evil Faye, I discovered what is actually in those meat baskets of hers. Thanks to a certain someone on Reddit called the Burb Tactician, they basically told me what was inside of those meat that the evil Faye serves to everyone for their dinner. When I saw that, it made perfect sense to me. And Faye is an evil person who would do such a thing like that. So now, we're going to continue this Tempest Trial trash talk and see what they say. The bask in the pile of best steak available on the market. Disgusting. Quite the steak pile. Not to interrupt the festivities such as they are, but there's something important you need to know. The important thing you need to know is that Silk loses the majority of her breasts to these clothes. When she's wearing her full cleric clothes, even though they're like heavy and, well, not heavy, but they're like thicker clothings, her massive boobs can still push through them. But here, with something so thin and silky, you can barely see her breasts. So therefore, these clothings stole her breasts. That's what's important about this. And what's important about this is that I'm just going to prematurely talk about Silk as a Tempest Trial unit. She loses a lot of dev and res. Well, maybe not that much res, but she loses a chunk of dev and she loses quite a bit of attack. A completely nerfed version of a regular Silk. Her BST is a 151. I mean, she's still a good unit, but it does make me feel bad because as a cavalry, generally you want to, I don't know, dish out tons of damage rather than sitting on a place and tank damage. Luckily for us, though, she could ask for the help of other cavalry units to give them, like, ward cavalry, and get, like, 4 dev res on top of that in combat stats. Those are important. In combat stats are very, very, very overpowered. Right now, there's still no counters for them, so I would take advantage of them as long as I can. Of course, there's also then we have LOL, attack res. If you have that, you can also add on top of the in-combat defenses and damages that Silk could produce. I'm still on board with the infantry Silk, though, because infantry is really powerful these days. But this one, despite the fact that, you know, you lose quite a bit of standard BST, 10 in fact, compared to the regular Silk, I would still have probably set up a team to make this work. It's just quite unfortunate, though, that she's cavalry. Although, when I think about it, maybe it's better than armor, because right now there's more focus on anti-armor rather than anti-cavalry, because cavalry, they've been shapped for so long, nobody even thinks about them anymore. But armor is still very prevalent with their BST and whatnot. But anyway, I am going off a tangent. We will talk more about Silk when we finish this trash talk experience. You and I have actually exchanged gifts here. Almost forgot. That's so rude. I mean, Faye and Silk are pretty much lovers, but I almost forgot. Because you know why? I would much prefer served up, chopped up silica legs to okay? Oh, you're too kind. And then we have Conrad, who gets screwed over by the devs. Oh yeah, we're gonna do reserve roles until you receive my present. Please, listen! It was chaos! You guys are like celebrating all this stupid like whirlpool behind me. It's like trying to suck up everyone and steal their souls, and you're just like exchanging gifts and ignoring me, Marth, wearing my mask and whatnot, and no breasts. Oh, if that's truly come under attack, please stop talking about these things, okay? Oh, we don't stand for this. Okay, let's go. Where all goals I go too. This is so disgusting. A third wheel like this. And then there's Silk and Conrad. I feel so bad for Conrad. I feel really, really bad for Conrad. There's no one I feel worse. And then, of course, our pal, our pal doesn't even get to talk at all. Rudolf just like, okay, I'm the boss, and then you have to put up with me now. I have to see what he does. Luckily for me, I do have Alm that I could use for this Tempest Trials, so I'll be building that up, and then I'll unlock Silk, and I'll use Silk. Now, in terms of other things besides her stats, I really am a fan of Rapid Wand, and I'm also a huge fan of Speed Opening. As long as you can match speed with the rest of your team, you basically get 5 to attack, dev, and 6 speed for your speediest units. And if your entire team matches that, they all get that bonus. It's disgusting. It's the same setup as I have for Christmas Eureka. Except Christmas Eureka has another disgusting thing in that, well, since it boosts his attack, she teams up very well with the evil Legendary Eliwood. And Legendary Eliwood, if he were to just get rid of his Visions of Arcadia in favor of Speed Opening, you could boost all 4 stats at once, teaming up with the evil Christmas Eureka. Of course, this is still not something to be underestimated, and you could still run this with Legendary Eliwood, except that your resistance is not going to be easily covered. I suppose you could just use resistance tactics or something like that, but the point in these things is that you can give people stats from like across the map. And another problem with this, though, that I find is that since Silk is a cavalry unit, she's more likely to run into an enemy unit and get herself killed. So this is still more of a player-used kind of thing. But it's still very helpful if you want to be at a very safe distance and still be able to protect, still be able to provide stats. At any rate, let's go on. But yeah, when it comes to stats like these, I prefer to, define speed, or we're not even going to talk about that one. When it comes for, like, stats like these where you can remotely give into other units, you usually use it for, like, or at least for me anyway, for Aether defenses, so you can have them sit in the corner and provide these stats. I suppose you could just trap Silk with, like, some buildings and everything would be alright. But if you don't have Winter Eureka, well, Silk will be the person just for you. Anyway, even attack wave is very nice. It's a little unfortunate, though, because Nino, the Dark Emperor Nino, has even attack wave on her weapon as well, so I don't think these can stack. Very unfortunate. If she were to have odd attack wave, or if this is an odd attack wave seal, we'll have another thing altogether. Still, I mean, it's still a useful tool. I might build it for someone down the line. And of course, there's more Silk, and finally, Close Guard is a seal. Honestly, I'm not a huge fan, but Close Guard is... I don't know. It's the same thing with Distant Guard. Focusing on one type of defense is fine, but usually units, I don't know, I see people who tend to focus on using both range and melee rather than one or the above. I don't know, man. I just prefer dev res, so using ward would be something I use. Close, something like that, is more for infantry use. And even then, infantry has like so much better skills that they could be using rather than like Close Guard or something like that. It's just my opinion on the matter, but at the very least, a seal. So hey, you know, your broken infantry skills that aren't in the seal slots at the moment, you can spare those and use something like Close Guard to give extra defense and res. There's only that. Anyway, I've gone and, well, on tangent, let's go and do this silly thing. I actually bought this stupid Faye Pass. Do not hate me. I'm very lazy. If we learn anything from Dragalia loss, I am in favor of just being lazy in games. It can't be helped. I like as little maintenance as possible with games like this. At any rate, let's go back and talk about how Ultimate Magic Bike is a disgusting creature who can take no damage, and no matter how hard you hit him, 64% reduction just tells you, nope, nope, fuck off. And of course, now my Veronica has attack and speed push, so yeah, she's just gonna be sucking health all day. And my Ultimate Magic Bike, who's actually pretty fast, can do something like this.
Yes. Alright.
Of course, I've also built up, once again, my Qualm. Oh, Marita's gonna hit Ultimate Magic Bike twice. Marita does like nothing. See, this is a perfect example of how disgusting Ultimate Magic Bike is. He doesn't care about color. Most certainly not. He's an equal opportunity murderer. And this is what happens, despite the fact that Marita, well, not this time anyway, but normally Marita would be able to reduce damage, but still, it's still only like 40% reduction. And in the end of the day, your resistance is still kind of an Achilles heel. Kind of. I say this, but 40% reduction. Oh my god, it's still so disgusting. It's just that a barrage of attacks or something like that can still bring her down. And she still has a weakness. It's just not a very pronounced weakness, but it's still a weakness. And of course, if you were to match speed or be better, since, you know, my Veronica has a 47 speed, it's completely irrelevant. Whereas Bike, even if you were to match his speed or better, he doesn't care, because he still has 40% reduction. That is why Ultimate Magic Bike is still the best unit in my opinion.
With gratitude.
Him and are quite possibly the best weapon refinery in this entire game. I don't think there's any better at this current moment. I should really go and spend some time to... I mean, I already talked about this before, but I really want to set up a thing where I talk about the top 10, or at least top 5 weapon refineries in this game. That would be kind of an interesting topic to talk about. I also want to talk about, like, who would use Close Call the best, because Close Call is really a meta-defining skill. There's a whole reason why I spent money on getting that stupid skill. Even though, you know, I did say, you know, I'd like to not spend money on this game. But, in the end of the day, I don't know. I guess I'm just bored. I've got nothing better to do. And when I have nothing better to do, I build units for funds. Although, I might just be like, you know what? You know what, boss? I need less time. I don't want to work so much. I like to work less. I like money, but I don't like money so much that I'm willing to sacrifice all my hours on making money. Maybe I'll do that. Yeah, that's what I'll do. Because I'm really starting to get very tired. I like to be sitting in a console, playing games on a console, rather than just playing strictly cell phone games. I like cell phone games, I like this game, but, you know, I don't have that much time. I would prefer to play console games like I used to. I guess I'm just... Well, not even console games, just like full-blown PC games like that. That takes up a little more attention than this. I mean, the fact that I spent money on this game is stupid as it is. I've always find regret in doing that, but, well, in the end, I come back to it, just because I get to do something stupid like this. I mean, look at this. God Emperor Brelet doesn't care about how much damage you do to him either, because he also has reduction. Although God Emperor Brelet does have his weakness as well, in terms of not having that much resistance. He still has a ton. He just... well, not a ton, but he still has quite a decent amount. But compared to, like, Ultimate Magic Bike, you know, you could really feel the difference. I would have to go into more details about Close Call later, though. I mean, since this is about Close Call. This video isn't about Close Call. It's just about some random gibberish from a crazy person like me, who happens to have, like, half an hour to talk about these things and just go through Tempest Trials with an animation on. And then, unfortunately, have to go back to work on a Saturday, nonetheless.
Let's move. Leave it to me.
Because I am very important, I am very needed, and I must complete my work. Though I'll get tomorrow off, and I'll even get Monday off. So at the very least, it's worthwhile. It's kind of like having having my weekend off, kinda. Okay. I'm gonna go and blast this false arm to death. I really should be using my Quadra-Lion, but I haven't. Because stupid Ultimate Magic Bike is stealing the show. Honestly, in this game, I think that being able to tank damage like this is far more important than being able to dish out like hundreds of thousands of damage. Because, I'll be honest with you here, doing damage is dime a dozen. Anybody can do tons of damage in this game. Like, even Shining Eyeballs, Eyeball Female Athena, could do tons of damage. And when Eliwood were to get his Resplendent form, he's already really good. All thanks to the fact that he's been inheriting all of the stupid things that Brave Roy has. Which is kind of silly, but I like that. That's fine. That's a good thing. It breathes new life into Eliwood just because of the fact that Roy decides to steal his weapon. And now his weapon is blessing him with what would have otherwise been simply just Eliwood's. Also, keep hitting me. Come on, scum. I will just suck that all back. Thanks to all. See, look, I don't even have any, like, particular speed support on this team. I'm just running this Phantom Speed. Phantom Speed is all I need. And this Phantom Speed is giving me enough speed to reduce damage like a madman. And now I'm gonna go and send you to the Shadow Realm.
Leave it to me.
Maybe I will use Quadra-Lion on something. Let's go and use it on K-Gel. I will rip K-Gel to shreds. Or you can do that, you scum. Alright, how about we do it like this then?
Leave it to me.
Oh, damn it. Are you so tanky that I can't even... Oh. That's... I suppose that is pretty tanky. That's 106 bulk. 106 bulk, I can still do this much. That's disgusting, but... Man, maybe I should have attached Wrap. Well, then again, this Quadra-Lion isn't at its full power. For one thing, I didn't get any buffs or anything like that. And another thing is that this arm is only +2. So he could be a lot scarier. Although he's probably dead. You know what I should have done instead of healing him? I should have just shot K-Gel. Oh well. Still, maybe I should have given him Wrath. That's probably what I should have done. Sorry. And now, even Veronica's in trouble. Oh, now Veronica needs to suck health to survive like a vampire. How about like this? I will suck off Matilda. And then... Ultimate Magic Bike will save the day, because he's Ultimate Magic Bike.
What now?
And you still have to get past God Emperor Belin. So, yeah, good luck with that.
One step closer.
With gratitude.
And that's basically my auto-resolve team these days. So you can see why I got my Fey Pass. So I can just auto all day, and everything will be just fine.
Understood.
The main thing about autoing nowadays, and I think everybody gets that as well, is that, hey, listen,
Let's move.
you could actually skip past all those notifications that you finish your quest. I always hated those things. Those things bothered me the most, even when I'm, like, macroing the Tempest Trials. Though I don't really like macroing Tempest Trials. Too much work. I don't like doing that. Now, Faith Pass allows me to not even have to worry about setting it up. Anyway, we went to, this wonderful castle, and we've just taken out... Well, Alm was taken out on the last map, and now Berkut is down. All that is left is Rudolf. And once we take out Rudolf, the entire royal family line has been extinguished. First, we must defeat the evil guard. Guard Gunther. Look at this shit. The stat inflation is so great that Gunther was able to survive that. That's disgusting. That's probably also why my Quadro Lion couldn't take out K-Gel for that reason. But otherwise, he would have. He would have taken her out, and that would have been the end of it. But she had so much HP, it was not possible. So much HP and death. And Rudolf is actually really strong, too. Look at this crap. Holy shit, he's out of control. He has 68 attack. So his Thorn Lance is really... showing its strength, and he also has attack dev solo. This thing is going to be really tough to defeat. His resistance continues to be an Achilles heel, but even then, Veronica isn't doing too much. But that's okay, not a problem. Because no matter how hard Rudolf pokes, he's not going to do any damage. It's all for you, thanks to all. And now Rudolf is getting beaten to death. Slowly. Yeah, I'll just put you out of your misery, old man. Ooh. Although one must thank Rudolf for warning Alm about the meat that he's being served by the evil Faye. So, you know, Alm will remember this. Alm will remember his father looking out for him when he's being served Celica meat by the evil Faye. Alright, now I'm gonna go take out Nagi and call it a day. And this insane rambling I spent 30 minutes on can finally end. This time it's over. Yeah, okay, we're gonna do damage like that against Ultimate Magic Bike. Alright, and with that, our little show is over. Now I'm going to be autoing my Tempest Trials all day and call it a day. Even though I bought Fate Pass, I'll tell you this much. I still don't like the concept behind it, but I bought it just because I'm a terrible person. I'm just a terrible person. I've never felt good about it, but I just want something to make me have an easier time, okay? I just want to do something like this, and then I can be at work and not have to worry about, oh yeah, I have to push the stupid notification, because the stupid 1,000 kill quest, who the hell came up with this garbage? Whose idea was this? How many have I even killed? I've only killed like 314. It's going to take me a while before I can get past all this. So I can't wait to get rid of that, because this thing keeps giving me notifications every time I finish a map. Such a dumb idea. I hate this so much. And for people who don't even have Fate Pass, I think that they tell you, like, oh yeah, use Fate Pass here, use Fate Pass there. You can't accept this quest, you can't accept this reward unless you have Fate Pass. Hey look, someone else shows up with a Fate Pass. But my friend Farfetch. Now may your friendship remain strong. Actually, let me see Farfetch and his built up. This is not part of the program, but you know what? Let's have some fun with this. Let's at the very least take a look at... Burke has... The spinning shark has always had a plus 10 Lin, so I can imagine him using that. Let's see, though. You know, that's actually pretty impressive. That 33 dev and res. You know, as I was just saying earlier about the dev res that units have these days, that would give Alm a lot of attack dev res. But still, man, holy shit, BST bloat is real. This is real. Look at this. This dev res is insane. 33 and 36. She's actually pretty bulky for what she does. Of course, she still needs to be to 75% or less to use her soul Kadi to her full advantage, but she's always going to get guaranteed full attacks because of this, and she's already kind of fast, so you can use her B slot for Wrath or the disgusting close call, and she'll still be able to dish out doubles and whatnot and do what she does best with her Despacito. But yeah, I think this setup that Burke has for Lynn is probably the best one. I would do the same thing for her. Once she gets into that 75% range, she will blow everything out the water. Well, maybe not quite everything. I think that the evil eyeball god female might do a little bit more. Anyway, though, I think this setup is also very disgusting for City Mongolian Lin. In the case of doing extra skill damage, you can still use Moonbow instead of Glacies, as we saw earlier. And now you can also use Brazen to do more damage. I would go for attack, though, just because of the fact that you already have a follow-up attack like this. But still, this is a very disgusting set. Look at this. Look at the defense and resistance. Thanks to Fury 3. That is so disgusting. This unit makes me sick. It makes me want to go. Well, so there you have it. City Mongolian Lins. And they are actually pretty good. Now, with Gen 3 BST. I apologize that today most of my talk is mostly incoherent. I haven't been getting enough sleep thanks to 3 houses. And I didn't even play last night because I was so tired. But I need to catch up on that. I need to beat that before... beat my Blue Lions playthrough before the Epis DLC on the 13th. And today's the what? 8th? Today's the 8th, right? So, yeah. So there's that. I have to get that taken care of quickly. Anyway, so enough rambling from me. I thank you all for watching. Until next time.